I realize 94% of you guys are not subscribed. It would help me if you hit that subscribe button and help me push the 500 subscribers. We're almost there, only 158 subscribers away. It will help me today if you sub my channel. And now, enjoy the video.
Airship Syndicate has recently come out with an announcement that they will be restructuring the.
Let's get into this. Airship Syndicate. Wonder what MMO this is. Let's see what MMO this is.
The entire game from a live service into a single player peer-to-peer co-op game. I mean, that's kind of how it was already. In the Steam community post, they state the changes and that they will be abolishing the live service model and moving them into a single player model and compensating founders by turning their pledge into a simple cosmetics currency. The founders over Discord are rightfully livid over this attempt of scam. The pricing of the packs range from $150, $90, and $150. We backed an MMO, and the developers are turning a 180 and delivering a single-player game instead. The packs offered features like multiple season passes in advance and currency to purchase in-game characters, as well as a plethora of cosmetics that only made sense for an MMO. Isn't this company like shutting down? No, their publisher dropped them. Wayfinder had one of the shittiest launches in the game history, with massive login queues of 30k players and straight-up broken core gameplay mechanics. After the launch of the publisher, Digital Extremes pulled away from their deal, leaving Airship Syndicate to manage the live service on their own. You may think it's fair for a small developer to roll back an MMO into a single-player game, and most of us agree. What we, the founders, want is a refund for Founders Packs, the things Airship promised us and are now taking away. We pledged to fund an MMO, expecting MMO-style games. Now our face is a single-player game. As Readiness Team has refused all refund attempts. Forgot to mention, this is completely wiping all player progression from the live service going into the single-player model. So there's a full progress reset. Holy shit. I liked this game. I thought this game was fun, but the problem is that nobody else did, because there's 23 people playing the game. I think there was a dev in chat. The executive producers in chat wants to talk to you. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him right now.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Just reading the post. I saw that you had messaged me about it, and seems pretty interesting. So
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, it's been a big fucking day, I bet. Can you first like introduce yourself so everybody knows kind of like
Damn. So this is a game that was planned to be an MMO, but because the publisher backed away, they had to rescale it back to being a single player. Oh, hold on. There's about to be ad. We'll stupid Twitch in their ads. We'll run an ad break real quick. I'll run ads real quick and wait for it. I'll run an ad real quick and wait for the ad to fully finish. But yeah, if they do. Oh yeah, the Kingdom Hearts movie. Yeah, I think it will be fire. I think the Kingdom Hearts movie will be fire. While we're waiting on this ad to finish, I'll probably edit this out of the full YouTube video once I edit it on YouTube. But yeah, honestly, I feel like the Kingdom Hearts movie will be fire too. But yeah, how's everyone doing this not ad? Are you guys enjoying my React Andy stuff? I'll probably, like I said, like I said, follow me on Twitch for all the actual reaction shit. But yeah, that sucks that this MMO got scaled back. But we'll see what Asmongold is saying about it, what developers say about it, where the full opinions are on it. Because that's the thing I like about Asmongold. He have shitty opinions sometimes, but it's still an opinion that sometimes I may not agree with or I may agree with, but he still is one of the greatest content creators out there and just lays things flat out as is. He give a fuck guess what everybody else thinks about it, and he just does things that he feels is right to do. So So I'll do like Asmongold in his content, and which is pretty cool. And that's how I kind of how I want to be as a content creator. I was like, yeah, you go fuck what everyone else think. I'm just gonna do it and see how it is. Ooh shit. But yeah, if but yeah, you guys who helped me do this shit and help me feel like I'm still making an impact as a content creator, thank you. I know earlier I made a Twitter post that kind of depressing because like like sometimes I'm not where I want to be as a content creator, but I still gotta remember I do have an awesome community that is there for me and stuff like that. So yeah. Ah, nice water. Nice water. Ah, shit. The mix. We're gonna writing on this ad. It's almost over in 21 minutes. Then we'll get back into the video. Like I said, this whole ad segment will probably edited out of the YouTube video. Just me going back to the fucking video. The fucking video. As soon as we get to it. And welcome back any viewers from the ad break. Let's get back into the video. But as I was saying, that's kind of crazy how this MMO was actually scaled back from being an MMO to a single player game because of bad press. Like I said, this week it's just been a bunch of bad press for the gaming industry. So these last 2 weeks is not good for the gaming industry as a whole. But maybe the developer will shed some light on why this was the way it was, and we'll see where it goes.
Who you are, where you're coming from, etc.
Yeah, so my name is AJ. I'm the executive producer on Wayfinder. I've been on the game since day one, here in the studio with Airship Syndicate with everybody in Austin, just like you. So, well versed in everything that we've done before and everything that we're working towards. But I know there's probably a lot of questions from the community and a lot of people that are, some people are happy, some people are upset. And I'm here to answer any of those questions and talk about the unfortunate reality where we are and the necessity of the pivot we had to make and kind of the two choices we had, which was, hey, the game can be shut down forever, like a lot of MMOs that we've all played and love, or we can work towards making something that people have in their library and they can play at their leisure on their Steam Deck, on their PlayStation, on their Xbox. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to talk about it.
How the fuck did you get there? Like, what happened? So the game launched. There was like obviously the whole Wayfinder drama. It was the servers were fucked, and I mean everybody knows it. That's the way it was. And how did you guys respond to that whenever it happened?
Yeah, how did they?
So obviously we had a partner when we launched this. It was Digital Extremes.
Yeah.
Digital Extremes was responsible for some stuff, be it login queues, customer support. Like there's a lot of stuff they were responsible for. A lot of stuff we were responsible for, database, games, like a lot of stuff. And we owned up to our issues. They owned up to some of their issues as well. And when they informed us that they were dissolving their publishing unit, and that we were kind of stuck on the road to work on the game and publish the game, we said, fuck yeah, we had to self-publish the game. It's a lot easier now. You know that now with your endeavors. We can go through Steam, we can go through PlayStation, and we started down that path, and we did support the game. We released a couple updates. We had some good reception.
Yeah, we had the Reaver King update and a couple of other ones. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
So we did all that stuff, and as we worked to finalize that deal and change, and they finalized it, became evident that we would not be able to do that. It wouldn't be sustainable. And so we kind of put our heads together and said, well, what do we do? Do we just say goodbye to this game that we've worked on for 5 years, which sucks for people that work on it?
Well, like real quick before before going farther.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they face a hard decision. Do they say goodbye to a game they worked on for 5 years, or do they change it to something else and still try to give a core game what people would love? It's a hard decision. It's a hard decision because either way, you're gonna have people that are unpleased. You can't please everybody. You cannot please everybody. There's going to be people that are pissed you're not gonna be able to please. So see, you can't please everybody, but I understand trying to. I kind of hear about Wayfinder it being a cool MMO when it launched, but now they face development problems, stuff like that. That was to a single player game. I'm hoping for the best for them, but at the same time, like you said, they had to change it to something that would be sustainable because every company wants a game that is sustainable. They don't want a game that they just worked on like, okay, fuck, we're done. Then they have to dissolve their whole development studio. They want something that's sustainable in the long front. So yeah, I understand it.
So like basically Digital Extremes got rid of their entire publishing unit. It's not like
Correct.
basically
They dissolved the entire publishing.
So this was not a result of the performance of Wayfinder. It was more so a result of their business decision.
Correct.
Is that,
they
and
had
how
a
many
new
other
CEO that was put.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they had a new CEO that got put in place, and then that change happened. Again, I'm not throwing stones. I'm just specifically saying what happened and kind of the sequence.
Well, they restructured the company, right? I mean, it happens a million times. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
How many other games were they publishing besides Wayfinder?
I can't answer how many they were working on, but I mean, historically, you can look at there was another title called Survive By that they had published previously in the past. So, and that they were not publishing anymore, and the game got shut down.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious. The reason why is like, you know, did they like to what proportion was Wayfinder part of their publishing unit? Because like obviously, if they were only publishing 3 games, then Wayfinder not doing well probably would be impactful. But if they were publishing, let's say 30 or 50, then it would probably just be like another thing.
Yeah, so one of the things that's a misconception is that we actually did an interview recently with SkillUp, who I'm sure you're familiar with. It'll go live on Friday, but we talked about this and we kind of talked about because he just asked the question, how did this happen? Digital Extremes has worked in this industry for a while. They obviously have Wayfinder, which is super successful. Warframe, which is super successful. But the team that was working on Wayfinder and all their other publishing projects was not that team. They had a completely separate team, completely separate technology, some completely separate account systems, completely separate login systems. All those were different. And those were built with the intention of, okay, we'll build this for Wayfinder and for possibly other games. So when they decided not to do that, that's when they closed down their entire publishing division and they decided to just focus on what they were working on, which was Warframe and Soulframe.
Okay, well that makes sense. You know, narrow it down, focus heavily in, and so whenever obviously you all got news.
Damn. So that's what happened. That's what happened. They pretty much did a restructure and was like, yeah, this isn't gonna be good for us. We don't think we'll make good enough money on it all. And they had a whole separate account system and all that for this new set of games they were gonna release. They were just like, yeah, fuck it. Well, we're gonna dissolve our whole publishing studio, and then it left them to have to restructure their game under a new cycle and a new way of doing it that would pretty much change the way the game is. So it's a shitty situation, but I understand it.
People are saying my mic is bad. What's wrong with the mic?
Because I think you're walking away from it.
It's close. Okay, yeah, I'm not walking anymore. I saw that. Sorry, I pace when I talk. My bad.
You're good. I do the same thing. And
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, like, what was the response of like your team whenever you found out that your publisher was just no longer going to exist?
I mean, it was. I will say that the team is incredibly resilient. Like normally, if you had that news, you can imagine people would be like, well, I'm out of here, jumping ship. Yeah. I mean, I was stressed. We were all stressed. We didn't get into this other than the fact that like we made this game initially as a love letter to MMOs. We all grew up playing WoW and EverQuest and Final Fantasy and Invictus and every game under the sun. And that's what we set out to make. So when that didn't happen and we all of a sudden were dropped, it was disheartening. But what was exciting was that we were no longer beholden to a publisher and that we could do what we wanted in terms of focusing on quality updates and maybe balancing quick hot fixes versus having to get stuff approved through them. So the team was invigorated, and that's why we were able to pump out a bunch of really good patches. We patched almost weekly. I think we did bi-weekly for a long period of time until we started working on this Echoes update, which you're obviously aware of now because we're talking about it. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. And why did you decide to pivot over to making it kind of, is it like, so you're talking about like the multiplayer single player game, is this going to function kind of like Monster Hunter in a way?
Yeah, so just to break it down for people, people think that this is just us being like, hey, it's a single player co-op game, right? Like the work that the team has put into this, I cannot stress enough, is extraordinary over the last couple of months. That every single system inside of the game, from the core loops to how you acquire weapons to the cosmetics to upgrades, talent trees, like that has been implemented in the game. Like it feels like an ARPG. You played the game, so you know one of the biggest things is very Monster Hunter like of, hey, I collected this weapon and I'm going to upgrade it to the end of time and make it super powerful. Like we don't
Yeah.
have that anymore. They're full loot drops, just like a traditional ARPG. You can find a
Mhm.
level 5 weapon and it might have stats you like and an echo slot you like, and then 10 minutes later you can find a level 8 weapon that's better. Same with all of our armor and all of our cosmetics, all thousands of items that we had in the game were just put in the game as drops.
Damn. So pretty much they restructured it to be like this, and they felt like this was the best situation. Don't get to get some fans what they love. Yes, it was gonna stop being an MMO, stop being more like an MMO, but it will still be like a core game that they felt like the fan thought something they would give to a love letter to fans and stuff like that. So yeah, it does suck. It does suck that they cut back some of the stuff, but the least are still trying to make a love letter product. It's not like you're just completely done with the product and still not trying to release this and that and just saying fuck it, we're done, and then canceling the game. So at least you're still trying to give updates to this despite the hardships they face. So I feel like this is a good outcome for them, while a good outcome out of a bad situation. I feel like there's still a good outcome out of a bad situation.
So a lot of work
Okay.
went into this, and it feels really, really good. So like the question you asked was, how does it work? You load up the game on your Steam Deck,
Sure.
On your PC, eventually be on PlayStation 5 and Xbox as well. You play the game. If you want to jump into a buddy's game or vice versa, they would click on your name in Steam or in PlayStation. They would join your game. All of the progress carries over. All of the loot that you might find if you do a quest together and you pick up a really awesome sword and you go, okay, thanks, I'm getting off for the night.
Can
and
you trade?
go back to your
Can
game.
you trade stuff?
There's still no trading inside
Okay.
the game, no.
Is that something that was intended or planned, or is it just
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't planned because it was going to be a free-to-play MMO, and that makes it super hard to figure out a lot of logistics, especially if it is.
with
but now
botters,
that it's a peer-to-peer,
absolutely,
exactly, yeah. So I mean, now I'm sure people will figure it out, and maybe we'll figure it out. And that's the other thing about this too, is I know I'm kind of just jumping around, but like, we want people to enjoy the game, we want people to play it, and if that's the case, people already have been like, hey, why don't you put in a matchmaker, and why don't you put in a server browser or mod support? Like, we can't stress enough that if people are interested in that and people are playing and buying the game, we will support it. Like, it has to financially make sense, but we made this that in case that doesn't happen, we'd be like, okay, we've delivered a version 1.0 of the game, we think it's really solid, and that's it, that's the game. So we would love to keep working on it. We didn't do this because we hated it, we didn't do this because we didn't want to work on it. We love the world, we love the characters, we love the fans, but it obviously has to make sense. You're a businessman, you know how that works.
Of course, yeah, you've got to make the money, right? And that's just the way it is. And I'm assuming probably there were a lot of server costs for the MMO. You couldn't afford to have the server, and that's just So okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of server costs for MMOs, stuff like that. Like MMOs cost a lot of money to maintain. They have to, especially servers for them and stuff like that. I actually understand why they would do all this and why they would change it, because it's a business. Got to make money on it, stuff like that. There was just a unfortunate circumstance they had to make the best outcome out of. I feel like I feel like I might give this a try on my Steam Deck, just to see how it is. I feel like it could be good because I do like games like Monster Hunter and stuff like that. I feel like it could be good as an ARPG. At the same time, yeah, like I said, a lot of people were promised an MMO, but they couldn't deliver because of the situation they were in. So it's unfortunate, but hope. But like I said, from what I'm hearing is that they're trying to make the best product ever, and they want to add games like mod support, stuff like that. They want to add They want to add ways for the community to boost things in the game, stuff like that. But they have to make sure it's sustainable first before they do that. So I understand it.
It's pretty reasonable. And obviously, like you saw the post that I was looking at. People think they're getting scammed because you're like pivoting. Are they going to get like any money back, or like how would you respond to that?
Yeah, so the people that are upset can go through the means of PlayStation and Steam to request refunds. We're working with them to see what else we can do in terms of like additional compensation. To be completely blunt and completely honest, we didn't collect money. Obviously, that was done through our publisher, so I can't refund what I didn't directly collect, but obviously as a player, you don't give a shit who collects your money, right? Like to you, it's like, hey, it's in my library. It's not what I initially wanted it to be. So we're offering make goods inside the games. All the founder pack items that people did purchase, they will have inside of the game when we launch. And then additional items from money that was spent or money that you had in your wallet will be converted into an exclusive currency that you can get for inside the game that like cosmetics and characters that you can't get otherwise. They're not loot drops. They're exclusive to those things. Again, there's no perfect scenario. I'm a Star Trek fan. It's the Kobayashi Maru, so we're trying to do what's best for players and for us so that we can continue to make awesome games. That's all we want.
Yep. So like I said, making the best out of an unfortunate situation. So they really weren't trying to scam their people. They're still trying to give them something. Say for the people that purchased the Founders Edition for the MMO and all that, they're sort of trying to give them something because they didn't collect any money. That money was collected through their publisher, which I thought was the case. So they didn't collect any money. They can't be like, oh well, well, we collect this money that Sony give them a refund because no, that ain't how it work. They can't that has to go to Sony for the refund or say Steam or whatever through their refund policy. So yeah, see, I understand people feel like, oh well, this isn't the product I paid for, but at least they're giving you something in the game to make up for that. They're not like being, oh well, you're not going to get nothing for us changing this game into this now. They're still giving you cosmetics, different equipment, stuff like that. Exclusive equipment that you can only get if you played it as originally as the MMO. So yes, they're like I said, they're trying to change something that was bad into a good situation.
You still buy the $150 pack right now?
No. Okay. The minute that we took over the business, we removed it for sale. The game has not been for sale for over a month once we finalized all of our legal transfers from Digital Extremes to us.
So you're saying that the reason why you're not offering refunds is because you are in no position to do so because the company that was the publisher, Digital Extremes, were the ones who actually took the money. So you couldn't even offer refunds if you wanted to. Is that effectively what you're saying? And so that's why, but you are working with Steam to hopefully empower the people who do want a refund to get it, but they have to get it from Digital Extremes. Is that correct?
I can't speak for that. I obviously can't speak directly for DE anymore, but I can tell. I mean, we've gone through the ringer with Steam. We were trying to offer multiple game copies so that you can give it to your friends. They don't support that anymore. We're trying to give away. We've talked about additional DLC in the future if we do that to give it away. So I mean, I get it. I get that people are emotional upset. I've been there. I'm sure you've been there when you played games that shut down or something you bought's not what you originally intended it to be. But I just hope that people understand that this was the decision we came to because the other decision would be that it would just go away forever, which also sucks. Like I said, there's really no winning in this situation. We're trying to do what's best for players, but also for us, for a company, so we can continue to make games. We have 85 people in the company. We're a small indie studio, and we're just in a
Yep. See, best situation out of an unfortunate situation. I mean, like I said, they want to make future games. They want to make other games that they're passionate about, and they're trying to make the best sustainable situation out of an unfortunate situation. Like they can't speak for the other company that took the money because that's not their place to say. So they can't be like, oh yeah, you'll get your refund, but they're trying to give you something. So yeah, they're trying to scam you. They took down the pricing for that $150 pricing of the game as soon as they got all full publishing rights to them, and they were switching the game to this new ARPG style game. So action RPG style of game. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, at least you're trying to do something, and it sucks because a lot of companies face this situation. In the gaming sphere, because the gaming sphere is in such a shitty situation right now with how much money it's losing and stuff like that. I mean, it's still the gaming industry is still one of the biggest industries out there. It's still one of the biggest industries out there. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But at the same time, a lot of companies they overhired during COVID and they're losing money because it's inflated right now. It's inflated and it's bad. So it's really infecting the game industry. But I feel like this on the game, like they're trying to make an unfortunate situation into a good situation, and so that can make future games that they know will be love letters to the fans and stuff like that.
A situation that sucks. No way around it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, it definitely sucks. And like going back to the thing, because like I just want to make sure, because like this is, I think, the main point of contention, is that like, so you're not at, like, if somebody is trying to get their $150 founder pack back, like you're cooperating with Steam from like your perspective, that's fine with you, right?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like, I can't
Okay.
specifically say that it's fine with me. I mean, both from like a legal standpoint as well as like the people I answer to, what they're going to say. But I can say that we understand and empathize with people. We have talked to Steam directly.
What did you talk to? Can you say what you talked to Steam about?
They understood the situation. I mean, we obviously had been talking to Steam for a long time to transfer all the services and transfer everything over to us. And once we did take over the business, we then, like I said, we took it off for sale. So they understood that, and they understood that that was our desire once we were in control. But as far as the actual like refund portion of it, or who handles that, I can't speak for that, or what conversations they might have had with DEI. They're not our partner anymore, and we haven't talked to them in a while about that stuff.
So do you have any autonomy to give refunds back to anyone? Like, could you give refunds back if you wanted to?
I don't think so, and I'm just being completely blunt with you.
Okay, no, I know. I'm just like, yeah, straight answer. Yeah, go.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't walked through that logistics, and we didn't talk to Steam and say like, hey, they can do this. I mean, like I said, if we haven't collected money from people and from Steam, like imagine a bank account. Again,
you don't have the receipt.
Yeah. I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have the receipt.
So again, you guys, so that's very important though, right? Like, you don't have the receipt to verify that anybody did or did not purchase the game. Is that accurate?
I'm trying to think. I don't think that's entirely accurate. I can't see like an individual. I can't see Asmongold making a sale for this, making a purchase and then getting this game. That is correct.
Is there a way that if somebody who had the Founders Edition, if they push the button for "I want a refund," can you approve that button push?
So you can approve the button push with specific parameters. Like, let's say, like when we launched, for example, we changed the button push from the default 2 hours or 14 days, which I think we did it to like 12 hours and 14 days, something like that, because obviously we had tons of login issues and people took a long time to get into the game. But that was them. So I don't actually know. I mean, this is something that we're committed to looking at and working towards. I don't have an answer for people now, unfortunately. But we wanted to get this news out there today because obviously we're launching for those that have paid for the game already, the 31st, and then for other people, the 11th.
Okay. So yeah, I guess you'll probably be able to find that out. And do you know if the team is looking for a way to reimburse the people that bought the Founders Editions?
So pretty much what they're saying is they have no way of knowing if they can't, if they didn't collect the money, they can't reimburse the people for money they didn't collect for the Founders Edition. They can't do it. And I understand where Asmongold is going. He's like, well, these people want a refund. They're rightfully so angry. They should get the refund. They should be able to get the refund. They're trying to say, look, we didn't have any control over that. We can't say we don't control the button push. That's something that was done before we fully took over it. And he's trying to get to the point that, well, you want that refund, you guys should be able to ensure them that they'll be able to get that refund. But it's not something they can actually, they don't understand if they can or can't do it because it's something they didn't collect money for. So yeah, like I said, it's just an unfortunate situation. You're gonna have people pissed about this regardless, because there's gonna be those angry fans who are like, well, I did this, I did that, and then it's just gonna be bad publicity. But you know what they say, any publicity is good publicity. So this could turn out into a good situation.
Or like what's the thinking with the team in terms of the people that feel like they were misled? Because I think that's going to be like a big point of contention.
You're saying with them feeling misled?
Yeah. Because they said that they had bought the $150 edition for the MMO and continued service and multiple seasons in the future. Then obviously, like, the way that the game is being presented has changed. I personally have like kind of a buyer beware perspective on this. So
Yeah.
like if you say, well, no, because that's just what happens whenever you support an early access game, I don't give a shit. That's true. But like I'm curious to see what the team is viewing this, because I'm sure that you all have seen the posts,
Yeah.
right?
So we are in agreement with
Yeah.
you that if it's an early access game and there are risks inherently with early access games. But at that same time, like I get it as a player, like I said, like I've been in that situation where I bought into an early access game or Kickstarter and it just goes away. And
Yeah.
if we didn't care about our perception, we would have just shut the game down and said we don't give a shit about you.
Well,
So
y'all
we
wouldn't have done
care
that thing
and
with the store items at the beginning of the
right,
game, with like the pricing. I
right.
remember that.
And so, like, I'm just being completely blunt because I don't know. Obviously, this is a spontaneous interview, but I'm thinking aloud. But
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, we care about the perception. We care about the player's perception. We care about the studio and its pedigree and the games that we've done before. And so it's gut wrenching to even be here. So I don't have a direct answer for you other than we want to make right by the player and we want people to be happy. And part of that is I hope that when the game does come out, people download it and they update their game and they see the effort that went into it and that is good. But I get that's not an answer for everybody. If you wanted an MMO and all of a sudden you have a single player co-op game, it's not the same. So we're totally not blind to that. But I don't have a good answer today about like what can be done here, other than we want people to play it quickly so that they can see it. That's why we announced so close to it coming out. And we want to continue to work with our partners to figure out a solution forward for people.
Okay, yeah, that seems to make sense. Yeah, I'll have one more question for that, and then I'm kind of actually curious about like where the game is going to go. So
Sure.
on Steam, if somebody who has a Founders Edition wants to get a refund and they click the refund button, you at the company have the option to approve that refund right now. Is that correct?
No, we have the option to set specific. Oh, I guess yes? Question mark. We have the option to set specific parameters on time. I don't know what that limit is. If the limit is 60 days or unlimited, I don't have an answer for that. I just don't know. I'd have to work with my Steam guys to figure that out. But we do have the option to set the parameters around like that time frame. The normal Steam 2 hours and 14 days is editable by the publisher. Now, does that work when you've transferred publishers? I don't have an answer again.
So I'm pretty sure like the truth is you have no fucking idea, because this happened out of nowhere and it's kind of uncharted territory. Like just is that pretty much where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's exciting.
So pretty much they have no fucking idea. They have no fucking idea if they can even give that refund and what parameters they could do and stuff like that, because it's not something that they originally did for the game. It's not something that they decided to do, be like, oh, well, let's do this. The publisher shut down the whole entire publishing studio, and it's not something they can have full control over because they didn't collect the money through them. So it's not something they can actually do. So they don't know. They don't know if they can do it. They don't know if they can actually give that refund back, which is pretty much what they're trying to get at. They can't. They don't know. They don't know if they can give it back. They don't know if they could even have the full power to give you the money back they want. So, like I said, it's an unfortunate situation. And that's one thing that sucks when you buy an early access game, you purchase like these premium editions for it. It could change down the line. The game could change down the line to being something it's not when it fully releases. But that's a risk you take with buying an early access game. That's a risk you take. That's a risk you take when buying an early access game. So yeah, it just sucks, but it is what it is.
And scary at the same time. I mean, no one's really done this before. It's taking an online game, completely stripping it out, redoing every major system, and then making it a game that people can play forever. And we hope that people do play forever. And if they do, and people like it and they buy it, like we want to keep supporting it. Like we plan to go back to a multi-game studio that has a small team on Wayfinder that constantly has updates of characters and weapons and hunts and locations and yada yada yada, while we work on other stuff too. That is the goal.
Okay, yeah. So what are you gonna do now? Obviously, since the game is, the game is going single player. What happens now?
Right now, so are you asking like specifically like the timeline for stuff?
Well, I mean, just in
Sorry,
general, right?
I got two
Like
messages. I got two
philosophy.
messages in the middle
No,
there.
it's okay. I get probably 50 an hour. People send me. I
Yeah.
totally understand being distracted.
Our current philosophy now is that we take what we take a game that we think is a demonstrably better game. I mean, we quickly found that out once we removed the servers and there was no lag, there's no latency. We took everything that was something you could purchase at one point or the other, and we converted it into loot drops that are earnable, that feel good. Everyone loves a loot pinata, right? We
Oh yeah.
added we added tons of new content. Like I said, there's talent trees, there's alternate progression systems, and we have a tons of other content. Like our new zone that we put in is about 3 times larger than the old one.
Mm-hmm.
There's mounts, there's additional hunts, there's additional weapons to find, sets to get, and so that stuff will be going live with the Echoes update on the 31st for people that already own the
Mm-hmm.
game. If you don't own the game, since we took it down for sale, we'll put it back up for sale on the June 11th. And then
So can you
from that
not buy
point,
the game right now?
no, at the minute that, like I said, the minute we took over the business, we took the game down for sale on every platform.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, you cannot buy the game. And so once the game comes out on June 11th, we'll be working through early access where we have additional characters, additional locations, additional zones, refinements of the game, refinement of the game system, and we'll be putting them in. Once we obviously are out of early access, the game becomes version 1.0. And during that time, we can make the decision to say, okay, well, it makes sense for us to put in official mod support or server browser or whatever. Like, as long as there's an audience, we will keep working on the game. Like I said, with a smaller team that's working on it, but we'd love to keep adding content to it as long as people are interested in playing it.
And I love that. I love that model about them because they are a small indie studio. They said as long as people love it, as long as people do it, then yeah, we'll put that in. And like I said, they took the game down for sale, so and they're not re-releasing it for sale till fully everything goes with them, and they're collecting the money, and they can put the damn and they could put the stuff they could put the stuff in it they want to put in it. So yeah, like I said, this is an unfortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation, and they're trying to make good out of it. I'll probably pick this up in early access when they re-release it to play on my Steam Deck and see how it is, see how it can plays with the Steam Deck and all that. We might even try it out on stream with the Steam Deck. But yeah, but I said Stream Deck, Steam Deck. And yeah, like I said, it's just unfortunate what they had to go through, but they're trying to make it good. They're not going to please everybody because you can't please everybody. You just can't. You can't. This is an unfortunate situation where you're not going to be able to please everybody, but they're trying to make a product that they still love to where they can make more games in the future and stuff like that.
Buying it.
So you say in the post, you say there's going to be no in-game microtransactions or in-game purchases, and you just literally
Correct.
buy the. How the fuck is that sustainable?
Correct. So the boxes that we have and the boxes that we are hoping to sell, we think it's a affordable package, and we think it's enticing to people. Like we've seen a big. I mean, this isn't just us, right? Like there's been a meteoric shift in the industry of late of live services and microtransactions and people feeling FOMO and hey, I have to log in to get my shop rotation or I have to go do my daily quest. And so this is us trying to buck that trend by saying, well, what if we just put together a complete package that you can play start to finish? There's an end point to the story. There's an end game that you can continue to hunt for stuff. You can continue to power up your character. And you can definitely play the game on your own and just pay one price for it. All of the thousands of items that we had for cosmetics to skins to housing items to weapons to sprays, like all that stuff is just loot. You're in a dungeon, you might just find a bird for your house, and then you might just find a weapon, or you could find parts for another wayfinder. Like we've converted all that stuff that was once purchasable into just being loot drops inside the game like any other ARPG.
So what happens?
So
like this is the thing, right? It's like a lot of the reasons why they have these. Like, do you think that's sustainable?
Yeah, so like I said, our big goal is to go back to being a multi-project studio. I mean, we worked on Darksiders Genesis and Rune King at the same time. And so it's sustainable for a business long term, obviously, to work on multiple things. So as long as people are buying the game and interested in the game, we'd love to have a team that's still working on Wayfinder. And that money that is collected also supports the studio during the time that we're working on other stuff with other partners. But you're right, it obviously doesn't last forever, but it's a big moment for us, and we're kind of, like I said, it's uncharted territory, and we're just trying to adapt to what we have now and to be around to just continue making awesome games. We're responsible for 80 some people, so we just want to do what's right by them, and we want to do what's right by the players.
And I get where Asmongold is saying. I get where Asmongold is coming from. Like, that doesn't seem sustainable. I mean, that's the reason a lot of companies put microtransactions in their game and stuff like that, because that's a more sustainable income for a company with a game to make more income over microtransactions than a set one price, and that one price be what you pay for in the game. Then it fall off and nobody buy the game anymore. But I understand where they're coming from. Where they're like, well, we just want to do right by the fans, and we don't want to have make them feel like we're dragging them out of all their money and stuff like that. So I understand both sides where Asmongold's coming from, because it doesn't seem like it would be sustainable, but it could be. It could be. It could be, and they're trying to do right by the fans. They don't want to make the fans feel like they're just dragging them for money, because a lot of people do get mad at microtransactions in games. So but at the same time, is it sustainable to not have microtransactions? Probably not, but it could be. It could be. I'm saying it could be. I'll put it devil advocate. It could be, but I understand where both sides are coming from.
So just to completely understand, so like basically whenever this comes out, you said it's May 31st. Is that right?
Yeah, anyone that's currently if you've ever owned the game, May 31st is the date you can play it. We're only calling that an early like a preview period, because obviously we'll find bugs and issues, and we'll issue a day one patch, and then we'll release it for sale on June 11th.
Okay.
But you can play throughout that entire time. It's not like it's going down. Obviously, it's a single player or a co-op game, so you can play at your leisure, do whatever you want during that time. But yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. And I guess, is there going to be, after the release of the game, besides like bug fixes, is there a content plan at all for the game after the release?
Yeah, so you actually have it up on your screen right now that we currently have a new Wayfinder, a gigantic new zone, 3 times the housing area, new hunts, new locations that we're adding into the game during early access, so additional content. And then, like I said, any other content would just come after that. But yes, there is a content plan for early access to continue to evolve the game, balance the game, but add additional content for people to play.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds good. So there's basically not going to be any microtransactions. Is there a battle pass?
No. So there were battle passes that were initially in the game. Obviously, they were also part of the Founders Pack, where you can get our first battle pass and our second battle pass. Those are not being sold. They are just completely part of the game. They are loops in the game that you can unlock those rooms and get those cosmetics, just like any other upgrade or loop-based system inside of a game.
So there's no battle pass. What about DLC?
We have no plans right now for DLC. We'd love to do it in the future. It really comes down to if we're able to, and if we're able to be sustainable doing so.
Well, shit. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense too. So I think they're just trying to make a unfortunate situation into a good situation, and I feel like a lot of the points Asmongold bringing, he brought up a lot of good points, like the fans feeling like they got cheated, that bought the $150 Founders Edition, they weren't able to get the refund, whichever they're coming from, where they don't know if they could give that. That's something they could do, because they didn't collect the money that was originally collected, the original publisher they had, and it's something they can't set themselves, and they would love to be able to do that, but they don't know, and stuff like that. And I feel like Asmongold said, maybe it doesn't think it will be sustainable without microtransactions, because I've heard a lot of companies say like Genshin Impact and all that do microtransactions with like battle passes and stuff like that, because that's a more sustainable income that gives them more residual income than just releasing a game with one set price. But at the same time, they don't want to do that, because they don't want to feel like they're cheating the fans out of more money. So they want to feel like they can actually get the fans a complete game they want to give them. So I understand all points, but it's just an unfortunate situation, not of a bad situation. They're trying to turn into something good. I look forward to Wayfinder when it fully releases, like I said, I heard about Wayfinder when it first released, but I never played it. But I'm looking forward to this when it fully releases June 11th on Steam. We may try to play it on my Steam Deck on stream. But yes, I am looking forward to this. Unfortunate situation. I have a bad situation. Unfortunate they had to change. Unfortunate their publisher got shut down. Unfortunate they had to change the way the game works and the way it was an MMO. But like I said, it's something they had to do. It's something they had to do. It's something it couldn't be sustainable for them. So yeah, and going forward, this is what the game will be. So yeah. So yeah, but that was that video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch to join the Shao Dynasty today.